Three times the charm for Mitt? Well, to hear the former presidential candidate tell it, maybe, but to hear President Obama's former top economic guy tell it, he's got a booming economy that he'll be likely running against, should he decide to do that. Austin Goolby, is the good economy going to give all the GOP contenders a problem even in 2016? What do you think?
You know, I think it'll probably give them a little bit of a problem. I don't think it's going to be booming gangbusters like the kind of the most extreme years, like the year 1984 or the couple of years at the end of the 90s. But it's probably going to be a fairly solid economy. So as a talking point, that's slowly erasing itself that, you know, look, the economy's not growing. Mitt Romney,
I agree with you on this. I think that by then it will have some traction. And many people can debate the breadth and the size of the recovery, but there will be no denying that job gains have been steady, the economic improvement has been real. So we could talk about sluggish wage growth, very, dour workers and all that. I think there's something to that. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to close the deal.
I agree with you. And, just put in the context, when Mitt Romney was running in 2012, he was laying out his jobs plan, and he got criticized by the press for saying that his plan would create 11 million jobs, 11 to 12 million jobs over the next 4 years. And they said, that's too ambitious. You couldn't do it. The economy is on path to generate exactly that, almost that exact number of jobs per month. So I think it's going to be at least an uphill slog on the economic front.
Well, you're not saying 11 million jobs gained per month, that it will be well north of 11 million total jobs gains.
I mean, they got to keep sustaining it, but he was aiming for a 250,000 per month rate, and people thought that was aggressive back then, but we have been over the last 6 or 8 months averaging about 250,000.
But now you'll go back to that argument. No, you're right about that. You'll go back to that argument, and Republicans have raised this. I'm sure anyone who wants to challenge Hillary Clinton will probably raise this, that the gains have not been thorough or sweeping enough that Americans feel it. Now, I don't know in 2 years whether that's the case, but how does this really break down 2 years from now? Or actually a year
depends how fast it
some
goes.
months from now.
My view is the rest of the world is in the dumps at best. We borderline financial crises in Europe, China, dramatic slowdown, Japan, big problems. I think any of those three could have some major negative impact on the U.S. If we have a downturn, if we had another recession or something like that, I think it would be a great help to Republicans, though it would not be great for the country.
But as an economist, then, the duration of this recovery is getting long in the tooth, then, right? I mean, you could say that it's by just sheer historical forces and the weight of time, it's going to peter out, right?
If it was all random, you're 100% right. You'd be saying, wow, probability of another recession is probably coming down the pipe. The only thing I would say to that is the average recession lasts only 11 months. And the recession we had was really quite savage. It lasted a long time, was very different from normal. So the recovery probably going to be a little different from normal, too.
All right. You might want to be guarded here because I agree with that as well. But, Austin, it's always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you again, Neil.
Well, gas prices plummeting, so let's just say the timing of this is a little odd. GM unveiling an updated Chevy Volt and a brand new all-electric Chevy Bolt. But plug-in sales have yet to see much of a jolt still. Marjorie Clifton says plug-ins are the future. Steve Moore says